What is the deal with Tampa, Florida? Why are investors from California and New York and Canada flocking to Tampa to invest? What is it about Tampa that other places don't have? Well, look, I have spent over 20 years of my life living in Tampa from 5 years old up until about 25, 26 years old. I've invested in Tampa, I continue to invest, and I will invest in the future in Tampa for 5 reasons. After this video, you'll understand why exactly all these investors are flocking to Tampa to invest in real estate and if it's a good market for you to consider. First things first, the local economy is not only growing, but it's multifaceted. Look, there are a lot of places like Gainesville or Tallahassee or certain places in Florida where the numbers make sense for investing, but there's one major industry that is driving that economy: tourism, college. Gainesville, Florida. What is Gainesville without University of Florida? I don't know. It'd be a little dot that no one would care about. Tallahassee, they got government, they got Florida State University. That's big. But a lot of other cities, tourism is it, or a college is it, or up north, a steel mill, that's it. And or like cornfields or something like that. Tampa has agriculture, which is okay, but then there's multiple colleges. The college I went to, USF right here, 9th biggest enrollment in the country when I went back in 2010. They have University of Tampa, they have tourism like Busch Gardens, there's beaches, there is MacDill Air Force Base. There are a lot of different economies within Tampa that are helping boost the overall economy. And on top of that, the owner of the Tampa Bay Lightning, Jeff Vinik, and Bill Gates, you know Bill Gates, they've invested billions of dollars to make Tampa one of the next hubs for tech. My voice just cracked. Tech. For tech. They have invested billions of dollars to make Tampa the next tech home with companies from Silicon Valley. They want to draw them in because number 2, it is very affordable. Remember, in Florida, there is no state income tax. In California, it's the highest state income tax of around 13%. So that's a huge savings. Plus, it's affordable in other ways. Gas is $1 less per gallon than in California. Houses, I mean, you can get a place for 200 grand, 300 grand, and it's very nice. And that same house in Silicon Valley could be 1.5 million, $2 million. It's insane what you get for your dollar in Tampa. Number 3, and very important for investors, is that you get great returns. Now, in San Francisco or LA, maybe you spend $1 million on that home and the appreciation is going to go up, but the cash flow is just not there. The cap rate could be 3%, 4%, and you're really, really relying on that appreciation to give you some sort of return long term. In Tampa, it has the best of both, where you have enough cash flow to break even on a lot of properties, but you also have appreciation going up. So it's not like you're screwed if the appreciation is over. It's not like you're screwed until you're able to sell the property for a profit. You have the best of both worlds. It's not like Gainesville where it's all cash flow, which that's nice too if that's what you want, but the appreciation isn't really there because again, Gainesville's not really a booming market. It's only there because of the school. So it's a very steady cash flow market, but just like the Midwest, it's not much growth. So you're in it for just cash flow, or you're in it in big cities like LA, San Fran, New York, just for appreciation. Tampa offers both. Number 4, the weather is great 8 months of the year. And compared to a lot of cities up north where, let's say Chicago, you live for summer and spring and you might have 5 good months of the year, I would rather live somewhere where you have the majority of the year good and just a couple months that are boiling hot and miserable than the other way around. And the good part is that because it's summertime when it's boiling hot and you want to leave Tampa, that's also the time when kids are out of school and you have that flexibility to travel. So Tampa is wonderful for families in that sense. The weather is great, and if you have to invest and visit a property, okay, you're going to Florida to invest or to visit your property. That sounds way better wherever you are in the world than going to Chicago in February. I'd rather go into Tampa in August than Chicago in February anytime, but that's up to you. Lastly, it is great for retirees and families because look, retirees, again, it's affordable, it's warm weather, but you also are only 4.5 hours away from Miami by car. It's like a 45-minute flight to Miami. That's awesome. And you're an hour 15 drive to Orlando, which is another incredibly hot market to invest. Everyone's going to Orlando. There's Disney World, there's conventions. It's a lot going on there. It's a bit too hectic and a bit too touristy for my taste. That's why I like Tampa. You're only an hour 15 away. You can go to Disney in the morning and come back in the evening, but you're not in that whole touristy, traffic, hectic bubble of a city. So remember, you got everything nearby. Atlanta's not too far north, and you got the beach right there. So you got the convenience, you got the weather, you got the affordability, you got the returns. That is why so many people are coming to Tampa. Companies are coming here, industries are coming here, and that's why, in return, investors are coming to Tampa. And really quickly, I just want to go over a couple of the cons about Tampa because I know I made it seem like the best city in the world. So Brad, why don't you live in Tampa if it's so great? Tampa is amazing to invest. It is such a great place for a lot of reasons, but for me, it's very spread out, just like LA or Atlanta, very spread out, but there's not a lot to do in every little community. There's only a few areas where I'd like to live in Tampa, South Tampa, downtown, Channelside. Those are the only areas that speak to me. But number two, it is not my culture. It's very Southern. I consider it the southern tip of the southern region of America. It doesn't have the hustle bustle environment. It's very retirement oriented, very laid back, which is cool in a lot of ways, but I like a bit more stimulation. I like that LA stimulation, and Tampa doesn't have that for me, but it's wonderful to visit. I enjoy going up every time I do, and I will continue going up and investing. So there you have it, guys. Those are my reasons why investors and companies are flocking to Tampa and why it's on the top of so many lists of the best cities and towns to invest for 2019 and 2020. Thank you so much for tuning in to the Millennials Guide to Real Estate. Again, my name is Brad. Please subscribe and click that little bell to be notified of new videos. And if you have any questions on the Tampa market, I can happily set you up with some realtors that can really give you the best knowledge and help you find your perfect investment home. Thanks again, and see you next time.